Okay, hi guys. Got to really apologize. So I thought I could do a YouTube live because that button pops up, when I'm uploading videos. But apparently, I haven't got 1,000 subscribers yet, so I can't go live. And I'm actually on my mobile phone, so I can't access Facebook from my mobile phone. So we've decided to do a recording, and yeah, we're really disappointed though, and I'm sure you are too. So get me more subscribers, get me up to 1,000 subscribers, and then I can go live.
Yeah. It was a huge obstacle we didn't foresee, but let's get Kim some more subscribers so we can go live on YouTube. No problem, no issues. But yeah, we're sorry we couldn't make it to live today. But let's go on. Let's talk about this amazing lunar eclipse, Kim.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So where do you want to start? Did you want to start with some gematria, or do you want to start with astrology?
I think I kind of want to do a little gematria. I'll go ahead and do some gematria. And then we'll go deeper with the astrology. So guys, there's going to be a link in the description box for this video if you guys to go to this gematria calculator website. I can't share my screen. So, but if you go to this link, there's going to be two links. If you go to these links, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm showing you guys. So May 26th is the date of the lunar eclipse, May 26th. And so May 26th has a gematria, the numerology for the date, May 26th equals 72. And so what's so interesting about this is that if you go to the gematria calculator and you type in lunar eclipse equals 72 in reverse full reduction. And so this totally blew my mind when I saw this, because it's like, wow, this is a very important, a very massive, a very deep lunar eclipse that is going to be happening during this time. So 72, which results to the number 9, right, Kim?
Yeah.
7 and 2 is 9, and if we just look at we can go into a little bit of astrology with the number 9 and the lunar eclipse and how it's about transformation and endings
Yeah, the
happening.
night house of Scorpio. But what would the number 72? I mean, why would that be auspicious as a number?
So 72
Is
is
it because it equals 9? Sorry, or is it a prime number?
no. So what's interesting is that 71 and 73 are both prime numbers. So 71 is the 20th prime number, and then 73 is the 21st prime number. So 72 is like, would kind of be, you could see it as 22. 72 is like 22. It's like the middle of those two prime numbers. You know what I mean? So I think that's very interesting, but also the 72 does equal 9. And we know that, like you said, with the being in the 9th house.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the moon is going to be at 4 degrees in Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is the ruler of the 9th house in the true lifetime sky. And also Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So
Right.
so it's because Pluto's gone into retrograde in Sagittarius, it does take it deeper. So the moon in Scorpio is deep anyway. The fact that it's a lunar eclipse where the moon goes into shadow makes it even more deeper. And then, we have the black moon Lilith, who is the shadow at 5 degrees in Taurus, where the sun and the north node is at the lunar eclipse in Taurus. although she's not conjunct them.
Right.
So it's a very deep shadow energy, but you know, it's it can be very emotional for some, or where we have to face things in life. But on another sort of level, it's like a shift in consciousness as well. It's like, you know, you couldn't really get any deeper than this lunar eclipse that's coming up.
I would totally agree with that, because like you said, with the moon being in Scorpio, and then Uranus and Ceres in the ninth house of Scorpio, and also with Pluto and Sagittarius, it's almost like all of the energies are all connected with each other, because you have Uranus in the ninth house. Uranus is also Jupiter is in Aquarius, which Uranus rules Aquarius, and then Jupiter is influenced by the Pluto and the Sagittarius energy.
Yeah, it's all mix up, isn't it? So, right. And also, you know, Jupiter in Aquarius at 3 degrees, I mean, that's kind of a shifting energy as well. But Pluto retrograding in Sagittarius, you know, that is triggering the Jupiter's energy, which is all about our identity and how that connects with our higher consciousness. Do you know what I mean? It's making that connection.
Absolutely.
But, you know, we've also, because the eclipse itself between the sun, moon, and the nodes are actually in a T-square formation towards Jupiter. So it's really putting the pressure on people to come into their own self. And Pluto retrograding in Sagittarius is about coming into your own self-power. Saturn retrograding in his own sign of Capricorn at 13 degrees. That is mastery of self-power. That's mastery of self, you know? So, and at 13 degrees, it's a new cycle. So this is like a crashing down or an exposure of something that triggers another awakening.
Well, you know, it's what you're talking about, mastering the self and self-mastery. And when you asked me about the number 72, and I said that it was in the middle of, so the 21st, the 20th prime is 71, and then the 21st prime is 73. And so 72 is in the middle of those numbers. And I said, you know, it's kind of like, it would kind of be like 22, maybe, like it's in the middle of those. But so 22 is a master number, right? So I was like, I wanted to share that with you. It's like mastering yourself, a lot of self-mastery. We were talking about, so I'll go back into a little bit more gematria.
Okay.
So also with this date, what's interesting about this date and the future date where the solar eclipse is going to be happening, the solar eclipse is happening on June 10th, you guys. And so when you put both of these two dates in here, at the very bottom, they have a bunch of numbers. And so what's interesting is that at the very bottom, you'll see it in blue. The date for May 26th, it equals 24. And it also equals the number 12. And then right across, directly across from it in baby blue, the June 10th equals 24 and 12. And so the number 24 is an interesting number because the Jupiter symbol looks like a 2 and a 4. Also, June 10th leaves 204 days left in the year. So big 24 energy, Jupiter energy. And Kim, I want you to, if you can, share with them the Jupiter and the expansion through Aquarius.
Yeah.
The
So
chart.
So what it is Pluto is retrograding through Sagittarius, and he's in opposition to Mars, who's in Gemini. So to me, that's like an enlightening, you know, it's very active imagination. You know, Gemini is all about the mind. It's all about invention, you know, so being an air sign as well. And Mars is about action, so it's a trigger. So Pluto and Mars in opposition, I mean, that's powerful. It's very conflicting energy, but it's also very powerful. So because, you know, Gemini is an air sign, Aquarius is an air sign, and with Jupiter in Aquarius, who's the ruler of Sagittarius, where Pluto is stationed right now.
Right.
It's all connected. And,
It really
you know,
is, yeah.
this is also Pallas, who is the one that helps us connect all the dots. I mean, she's just moved 0 degrees into Pisces. So this is powerful psychic intuition, powerful visualizations. This lunar eclipse is powerful for manifestations, you know, but it's a very shadow energy. So, you know, I would say deep, like cleansing salts, you know, sage,
meditation.
Yeah, meditation, protecting the aura, keeping the aura clean, you know, I would definitely recommend that. Meditation will be powerful. I mean, if you can focus on that, as long as we're not in fear, because I see a lot of fear going on as well, you know, with the collective, because you've got to remember the eclipses are global. You know, it takes it more out of the individual. Where's the new moon, where Lilith was eclipsing the sun? That was more on an individual level, but this is more collective energy. And so there's a lot of fear around scarcity. And let me just, because I just wrote some notes here. Yeah. So yeah, with the, you know, this is also about letting go of the past, embracing the future, stepping out of fear, stepping out of the fear of scarcity, you know, or not expressing yourself through fear. But anyway, yeah. I get really passionate, so you have to say, shut up.
Oh no, you're doing great. You're doing great. I wanted you to or I was gonna mention, if you weren't gonna mention, but you know, the Mars and Gemini energy, and what that energy like, and how it's like thinking, a lot of mental activity, or being confused, which is kind of like where, I mean, really on a global scale, where we all are when it comes to, you know, policies, when it comes to, you know, the vaccine, and lockdowns, and who's going to be wearing a mask versus who's not going to be wearing a mask. So it's going to be like this state of, you know, a lot of mental activity, and confusing, and thinking without really acting, like impulsive thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And triggering, it's very triggering energy. So there can be debates with that, you know, especially with Jupiter in Aquarius as well, because that can be an argumentative energy. But because Pluto's in retrograde and Mercury's actually in shadow in Taurus, ready to go retrograde on the 29th. And, you know, Mercury in shadow in Taurus, I mean, that is not a comfortable position for Mercury to be in. You know, it's a very uncomfortable kind of obsessive energy at some point. So we can definitely get stuck in our heads, definitely. You know, but
Taurus isn't much of a thinker, right?
well, he's more, but when he focuses on something, that's it, mate. He's focused on it, you know, he's not letting that out of focus. So it can be a very possessive, obsessive energy as well.
Right. And then Venus too. Venus there conjunct the Mercury. It's like obsessing over like what you're saying about the scarcity and the materials, like obsessing over materials, obsessing over uh just security and all those type of things.
Yeah, but it's also, Taurus is also a very sensual sign, you know, and Pluto is very sexual, you
Yeah,
know, so there could be a lot of triggering going on there as well.
very true. Yeah, I definitely see it.
Yeah, so yeah, it could be based on, you know, passions as well as and creativity. I
Mhm.
mean, for, you know, crafting and creativity, this is powerful energy for that as well. But it could be very unique things, like very erotic, or, you know, along those lines. We can get some really good art out of it, or music, you know, because
Mhm.
Taurus is all about art as well, isn't it? You know, so
The
yeah,
midheaven is there too, which is interesting when you're talking about creating art and stuff like that, because you know the midheaven's like about like career and stuff like that, you know.
yeah,
So see a lot of creative things. But with you, what you were saying about Palace or not Palace, which one's next to Neptune? What's the in Pisces there? Is that
yeah.
Palace?
That's Goddess Palace. Yeah,
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 so we were talking about what people may be experiencing at this time with Neptune and Pallas and um, lots of strong dreams, you know,
yeah,
possibly visions. And I think that at this time, with Pallas being there, a lot of people are going to have very strong dreams, if not visions. And but with Pallas being there, they're going to be able to connect the dots and understand what their dreams and their visions mean. Because a lot of times we do have like, you know, we have these crazy wild dreams.
Tell me about it.
We had these crazy wild dreams and we don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Oh, tell us more.
um, but no,
Yeah, and
I mean, yeah.
also, I mean, Scorpio is also a very psychic, investigative sign as well, you know, so there's a lot of power there behind the visualizations. And yeah, with Venus and Neptune and, you know, Pluto, it can be very, yeah, I just get the feeling, you know, there's some really intense and deep relationship activity there as well, you know,
Well, we
maybe.
haven't mentioned the south node in Ophiuchus and and Juno in Ophiuchus there as well.
Yeah, and Juno's at 11 degrees, so that is another mastery number, another master number,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is more about mastering of self. And Juno is the well, she is the wife of she represents commitment, loyalty.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so she's been in Ophiuchus for a little while, but in Ophiuchus, Juno normally represents like, you know, abusive relationships, or the wife that's misunderstood, you know.
Hmm. And Ophiuchus, right? Because Ophiuchus is like the persecuted,
Mm,
um, the misunderstood, the different, the you know the black sheep type of thing, right?
yeah, and you know, so I would say, I think I said this before actually, with Juno. Um, you know, I mean, when I talk about her, we're not talking about, you know, just women out there, because this is like more just the feminine energy. So it could
Mm,
be a lot of people, or, you know, the way it could affect people is the realization of something about relationships where there was misunderstandings. Maybe there's more clarity coming in about what that relationship was about, or maybe we misjudged that person. And do you understand what I mean? So I just feel there's coming to terms of misunderstandings of the past, maybe to reach a conclusion or to come into realization of some kind. And whether
With the,
that's to run or stay, or, you know, or to move forward.
well, it's interesting because, you know, to me, Juno is definitely about relationships and all that type of stuff. And then you have it pretty close to Scorpio. So it is like a very, very deep looking at things, because Ophiuchus is the bird. So looking at things, having a really, really, really deep look at things from a higher perspective. And with Pluto going in retrograde, it is kind of like going back and looking at past relationships, or, you know, things that just are maybe things that we've kept secret to about ourselves, or to ourselves, like
Yeah.
going back and looking at those old things about ourselves, and asking some really deep questions, you know, with Pluto and Sagittarius. Those are like, as like big questions, like could really change our that can really change our, some people's religious views, or just perspective. A lot of deep changes coming into our perspective and how we view things, you know.
No, definitely, because Juno's also in retrograde as well. So that's an inward, you know, a reflection.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And yeah, so yeah, I do feel there's going to be a lot of realizations, or a lot of, you know, it's almost like guidance coming in as well. So, you know, people will experience that in different ways. You know, we all have different ways of experiencing these energies, but on a psychic level, or,
mm-hmm.
you know, depending on our own chart sort of thing. But yeah, it's definitely a wake up call here
Mm-hmm.
regarding the global situation, you know,
Mm-hmm.
relationship statuses, our financial positions,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of activity going on in the mind, but it's more an inward thing. And I think, you know, it's very hard for us to express ourselves with Mercury in shadow about our desires, you know. But the Black Moon Lilith at 5 degrees in Taurus, I mean, at 5 is kind of a shift in energy, and we are in a 5 universal year. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I really do feel that Pluto, this lunar eclipse, is bringing a cycle to completion.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably been going on for a little while, and I feel the solar eclipse is going to be very important. And I feel the solar eclipse a very similar energy in Gematria.
Oh, you know what? Let me type it in. Let me type in solar eclipse. Let's just see what we get here.
Well, I just meant
Solar.
like the date. You did the end date for the solar eclipse, did you?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
June 10th.
yeah,
So the numbers, so we know that the 24s and the 12 match on both dates, the 24s and the 12s, and then June 10th leaves 204 days left in the year. Um, so the date numerology for June 10th is 57. We have 57, 21, 12, 37, and 10. And so 37 is the 12th prime number. So heavy 12 energy, but then you also have 21 energy, which is kind of like that energy, like flipped basically. But you just said something about how we're in a 5 year, which is interesting because from May 26th to June 10th is 15 days, and 15 is the fifth triangular number. So more just expounding more, adding to what you were saying about the number 5. This is a 15-day period. So 15 being the 5th triangular, 5 is a number of mental changes and activity and expansion, right, Kim? What as far as the Kabbalah text,
Yeah, what was it that I said about, because I said 3 was Mercury's number
Jupiter.
in the Kabbalah, but Mercury and Jupiter, they have very connective energy anyway. And
Kim,
yeah, 5 was Jupiter.
I think you said 5 is Mercury and 3 is Jupiter.
Let me have a look.
Yeah. But so Kim, so what's interesting about solar eclipse is that solar eclipse equals 71 and it equals 73.
Oh, you're
And
right.
this date and lunar eclipse equals 72. So you got 71, 72, and 73,
Yeah.
which is like huge, massive, you know what I mean?
What was it? Oh, it's on Astro App, isn't it? And Pluto will shift back from 30 degrees to 29 degrees.
Mm.
Oh, go away. Yeah, on the 18th of June. So that shift, Pluto shifts back a degree. That is big, because I feel that this lunar eclipse, it's kind of like an energy that can be, because, you know, because it's deep and it's secretive as well. It's an energy that can linger for a while. So I feel that when Pluto does move back to 29 degrees after the solar eclipse, it's like another shift in energy when it comes to Scorpio, Pluto, and, you know, what's going on.
Mm. Well, real quickly, so I put that date, that June 18th date in the calculator here. So from the lunar eclipse to June 18th is 24 days. So more big, huge Jupiter energy, but also June 18th has a date numerology of 29. And you're just talking about how the number 29 and how it's going to be moving back a degree. It'll be at 29 degrees.
Yeah.
So this time is a very interesting time. I think we should talk about Ixion and kind of like what was happening around the last time that Ixion was where it is in the sky now here today.
Yeah, so in 2018, one of our old colleagues, North Node Rider, contacted me.
Okay.
He said, check out Ixion. He's at the Galactic Center now. North Node Rider, he lives in France, and, you know, things start to kick off out there. So I checked it out, and because you know me, I like to go back in history and see what was happening, you know, when these transits were happening back then. So the last time Ixion entered the Galactic Center, I mean, Ixion, I've spoken about it a couple of times. I mean, at the moment, I think he's like 5 degrees Sagittarius, which is the Galactic Center. Coming into the Galactic Center, he's leaving the gates, because he's been backwards and forwards at the Golden Gate, you know, of between Sagittarius and Ophiuchus. So yeah, so, but he was like, in 2018, he'd moved into 0 degrees Sagittarius, so he was coming into the Galactic Center in 2018. So I went back in history, and the last time Ixion entered the Galactic Center was in February 1770. The last time he reached 5 degrees was in 1774. Now, the Boston Tea Party started in December 1773.
Mm.
And
So he was
all at the Galactic Center at those times, yeah. And the USA Revolution started in 1775. So he's definitely here to kick up some trouble, you know?
Yeah.
And, go on.
Oh, and I was gonna say, if if we just look around and look at where we are with everything going on in the world, politics, and obviously, the virus and everything, it seems like a very revolutionary time for us. Um, the
Yeah.
Boston Tea Party.
Yeah,
It's like,
apparently that only lasted 3 hours, but it seemed like a long drawn out thing to me when I was researching it. But I think the actual standstill lasted for about 3 hours. But it kicked off a whole heap of stuff.
yeah. And so I made a video about revolution, about how the revolution will not be televised, and my latest video. And so when we were talking about that, the 1776, the Boston Tea Party, American Revolution, and just using some of the gematria stuff that I had used for Revolution Day, July 23rd is Revolution Day, and all these type of things. It just seemed like we really are going through a revolution, or that one will be happening, very soon for us.
Yeah, and it's building and it's growing already, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it play out, and yeah, it's definitely a time for humanity to stand up. And I've been saying it for a long time, but it takes time for people to come into certain realizations of, taking their power back, and really, the goddess Palace is helping us connect the dots. She's helping us to see the reality of our situations.
Mm.
And, like, to me, Ixion represents like Anubis in the Egyptian mythology. Anubis, to me, was the revolutionaries. I think we've talked about it before, there's a possibility, that Ixion was actually Moses, or represented Moses in history.
Well, I think I'll go ahead and share it with you guys. If you guys have the calculator, the gematria calculator, and you type in Ixion, can you help me spell it, Kim?
Yeah, Ixion.
Yeah, so Ixion. Yeah, so if you type in Ixion, Ixion, and Moses, they both equal the number 71. They both equal the number 35. They both equal the number 64, and they both equal the number 28. So they're pretty much the same exact word.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I did make a good connection there.
Absolutely you did. And this is like right on the nose. I mean, to me, it couldn't be any more perfect.
So and with the South Node in Ophiuchus, it makes it very ancient, because we're going back to those times, because to me, Moses was the son of Ophiuchus, and even though what I'm saying sounds crazy, because history hasn't even put it on those timelines. I mean, what I've been researching and coming to terms with, it's like all the people on the timelines, it's completely different from how I'm getting it, So yeah, but then not really. Yeah. So Yeah, he's very important, and I feel that that kind of type of ancient history is what's resurfacing today. You know,
Mhm.
but like we go through a spiral, not a circle. I like to see life in spirals, not circles. You know, let's not go round and round and keep on doing the same old thing. Let's take it to heights.
It's definitely an evolutionary process. Um, and I think we were mentioning, we're going back to those times, and a lot of people may be afraid or scared, but you know, we have to really learn how to take care of ourselves and become more independent, stepping into our own self-power, learning how to grow foods, learning about herbs and like herbal medicines and how to farm, how to grow our own foods. That is really the true way out of this, to really truly heal people, for people to really step into that, because the system is so
The
it
system's
just
got to change. The system's got to incorporate well-being
mhm,
into it, so we can take the pressure off the NHS, so we can take the pressure off of, like, really those things should be used as a last resort or in times of dire need. We shouldn't
right.
be living our everyday lives dependent on running to the doctors for every little thing, like the overuse of antibiotics has caused a lot of problems,
Mhm, mhm,
and the more medications given out, because of the chemicals that are involved with these medications, it takes it out of organic. You know,
mhm,
it's like me right now. I'm drinking ginger beer. A bit of ginger in all its forms is good for you.
mhm,
Um,
definitely.
and like learning how to work with the body, learning what teas to drink, learning what foods to eat, what vitamins to take, can it just saves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've gotten so far away from it. We're like a microwave, generation, where we just want everything so fast and so quick all the time. Um, but do you think we should look at the solar eclipse chart now?
yeah,
What do you think?
definitely. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the solar eclipse actually takes place in the sign of Taurus. And but to me, it's a very similar energy, because we've still got a T square. Hold on a moment, there was two T squares there. Yeah, so at both the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, we've got this T square that's been ongoing for a little while now, aimed towards the goddess Vesta. And the goddess Vesta is all about her inner temple. She's all about the inner flame and our passion, especially in Leo. But in Leo, it can trigger the ego as well. It's like overcoming the ego to get more into our well-being.
Hmm.
And I feel the solar eclipse is like really all about putting pressure on us to take our power back again. That is what I'm seeing.
Well,
Um,
definitely the Neptune looks like Neptune and Pallas are Pallas is deeper into um Pisces there.
yeah, well, Pallas has gone across Neptune.
Hmm.
So as Pallas went across, like between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, as she's crossed Neptune and conjunct him exact, that is where. But the dreams are already there. The dreams are already started. But I would say within those next 2 weeks, in between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, yeah, there's going to be some powerful visualizations then, or powerful, psychic visions, dreams. meditations.
And so the shift, look at I want to talk about the shift from Mars and Gemini shifting into Mars and Cancer. To me, that's
Yeah,
kind of like so still so much water energy, so much water energy. And so really kind of going from like this crazy mental erratic place, it's moved into now like an emotional type of space.
yeah, it could be quite self-defensive.
Mm.
The Cancer energy can be quite self-defensive. If they're feeling emotional, they'll just shut down, close off, and go within their shell. So it might be what we need. Maybe it is a time where we should retreat and
Go within.
yeah, again. So, and Jupiter would have moved to 4 degrees in Aquarius, so that's more stable for Jupiter. He's got 4 legs.
Mhm. It looks like a 4 too, right?
Yeah,
So
it
sun
does
looks like a 4.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and but you still got the Black Moon Lilith again in Taurus, so I do feel it's the same scenario, but it becomes more clear at the solar eclipse or just after the solar eclipse. I feel a few days after the solar eclipse, when Pluto actually shifts back a degree, I actually feel that's where it's just going to go click, It's all going to
Mhm.
just click into place.
I have some notes about obviously where I am in America, the ascendant is going to be in Leo, but for those of you that are in the UK, I have something up to say about the ascendant conjunct is it Vesta? Vesta,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And so Vesta is all about like healing, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, Vesta is about, again, the inner flame, the inner temple,
Mm.
the creative passion sort of thing, but it's sacred, it's a sacred energy.
Mhm. Well, when I was doing some research, I felt like it was saying that it was going to be a great time for using sounds or different creative ways to heal ourselves and healing ourselves, with the sun or through, because it's all there in Leo. And Leo is about confidence, about light, about love, the heart, and everything. So maybe a good time for people will start to tap into those different creative ways to um, heal themselves.
No, definitely sound frequency, because a fucus carries the sound wave.
Mm.
And with the south node at 3 degrees, we're hearing that vibration. We're all being kind of drawn to that vibration. And especially with Juno at 7 degrees, like 7 is quite a spiritual number, 3 is quite a spiritual number. And that can be definitely, and all the Taurian energy, that's very harmonic.
Mm. That a fucus symbol kind of looks like a little musical note.
Yeah, 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 she does actually, or he does.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, definitely like theta or sound waves, sea waves. I think with Neptune, because remember Neptune, really, he's only putting his toe into the water of his own sign. He won't move
Mhm.
more than 1 degree before he starts retrograding back into Aquarius. So
Mhm.
this is really just a taster of what's coming up from next year onwards, because in February 2022, he moves into his own sign of Pisces for the long haul.
Mm.
So that's where he does really make his biggest shift. But at the moment, we're getting a taster. He's given us a taster of what his energy, of what to expect from his energy. And like, you know, this Piscean energy with Neptune, I mean, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, so this is powerful for Neptune to be in his own sign.
What do you think? What do you think about how will that affect, like, because I noticed Chiron is there in Pisces. My mom actually has Chiron in Pisces. So how do you think that would affect those that have Chiron in Pisces? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, Chiron's been in Pisces for quite a few years now. I remember when I first came into 13 Star Sign Astrology in 2013, Chiron was actually transiting Aquarius. And I think Chiron moved into Pisces, I think it was around about 2016, I'm not sure, but roughly around about that date. So when Chiron's in Pisces, it is deep emotion. And, you know, Chiron was very active when he was in the earlier degrees of Pisces, he was very active. But he's kind of moving towards the end of Pisces now. Neptune will never catch up with him. But Neptune was, so for Piscean people, there's probably going to be a lot of emotion. Now Neptune's gone in, because Neptune can make you quite melancholy as well. You know, Neptune can actually really make you feel quite emotional. So it's a good release as well for some people that have been bottling things up for years and haven't dealt with their pain. I mean, this would be the time to release all that pain so you can heal it, you know?
Yeah, and Pisces is kind of, there's like pressure involved with Pisces, right? Or almost like also paranoia and things like that affect Pisces.
It can. It depends on the moon, where the moon is and what the moon's doing, to be honest, because the moon is the vow to the Piscean energy. It's the emotions and the self-doubt that holds us back from trusting our true visualizations. No, I feel more sort of like mental health is more down to the Aquarian star sign, to be honest, like, you know, because the Aquarian star sign can be very genius in ideas, you know, it could be a very genius sign. So with certain triggers in Aquarius, it can create mental health. Neptune transiting through Aquarius has brought a lot of mental health issues to the surface, because the thing with Pisces is Pisces can lead us into addiction. You know?
Yeah,
It's more an addictive energy.
like alcohol. I think a lot of Pisces have alcohol. They like alcohol. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't actually. I don't really know too many like 13 star sign Pisces, to be honest. Well, my little sister, but she's very but she's got a Virgo moon, you know. So yeah, I actually feel Aquariuses can be quite wayward, to be honest. My brother was an Aquarius, and a few Aquarians I know, I mean, they can be a little bit kind of like lone rangers off doing their own thing. And I do think they do have addictive
personality, problems. Yeah, for
see,
sure.
I see Neptune and Uranus as being very similar, because I feel that Uranus is more about higher consciousness, where it can be like clairaudient, telepathic, and Neptune is more about visualization, psychic instinct. You know, but they're both pretty emotional. It's just Aquarius have this thing where they can just shut down and close off, you know, their emotions to the world, to the public. Whereas Pisces is just like, they express their emotion. They can't hide their emotion.
It's like to me, this Pisces is like very subconscious. Like to me, it would almost represent the subconscious mind, because the motto or the quote for Pisces is "I believe," and that's how they manifest. Pisces are great manifestors, so but they do that through visualization, and a lot of that stuff is a lot of like going deep within the subconscious mind, and kind of like reprogramming it and reframing it to visualize something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
definitely.
Aquarius is definitely like the higher consciousness or the higher mind, I would say, the
Yeah,
conscious mind.
yeah. But when they both get triggered at the same time, it can be overwhelming.
Mm.
And they kind of work hand in hand, Uranus. So like when I've discovered like researched them in ancient history, it's like they worked hand in hand in at a certain time. They
Mm.
were like working hand in, they were quite close together. They still are, but you know, they were much closer.
Mm.
You know, so wow, yeah, we've got quite a powerful lunar eclipse and a powerful solar eclipse coming up. And then we've got Mercury going into retrograde on the 29th. On the, was it the 18th I said? Oh, let me have a look. It's on here. I didn't write it down. I meant to write it down. And then on the 18th, we've got Pluto shifting back a degree. So, you know, it's going to be very active time over the rest of this month. This month is the rest of this month's going to be very active. I'm glad I'm getting out of town. I'm getting out of town, boy. I'm off.
I'll just be chilling. I'm just be laying low, you know, just doing my meditation thing, you know, just trying to take care of myself, you know. I think it's definitely a time to go within and ask yourself, you know, those deep questions, and go through the process, you know.
Yeah, I think just be open, because like with these energies as well, it can be things come out the blue. It can be totally unexpected, you know,
Mm.
because they're all very shifting, fast energies, you know,
Mm-hmm.
very triggering. So it can be like spur of the moment or out of the blue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just say, expect the unexpected, you know, just be in that place of peace within yourself, and whatever pops up or whatever comes your way, just surrender to it for the moment. Surrender to it, but see it for what it is, you know. Don't go off into la la land and think like, you know, because Neptune could take us off into la la land. But I just feel with Pallas there, Pallas will keep the Neptunian energy a little bit more grounded, you know.
Yeah, what's this what you're saying is interesting, because like Scorpio, with the lunar eclipse being in Scorpio, Scorpio to me is is an energy that is very controlling, or that it is an energy that is very much in control of the vibe or the setting or the air in the room. You know what I mean? And they're very much so in control of like the there's a certain word I'm looking for, but it's not coming to me right now. But it's just being in control of just the setting and the vibe, you know. But so with it moving from, with the solar eclipse moving from, you know, from the moon moving from Scorpio to it moving to Taurus,
Mm.
is like
It's
kind
like
of
the
uh
table's turning, so to speak.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
being very in control of a lot of things, but then something happening to where now you're more focused on, not really focused on the whole Scorpio way of controlling, but more of a more Taurus like trying to hoard things or whatever, you know. It's like a different type of it flips basically, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the moon and sun will both be at 26 degrees, and Mercury's right conjunct. So it can be, again, a little bit mind-blowing, you know, or a little bit of like over mental stimulation. But again, realizations, it depends where we're at on our paths, you know what I mean?
Right,
Uh,
right.
yeah. So I think it's what we're ready for, because really, you know, there is this bursting into like more enlightenment, and enlightenment, with enlightenment comes truth.
Mm, yes.
And, you know, I really do feel, I mean, I said at the new moon, my new moon podcast, I felt like something was going to be exposed in this particular cycle of the new moon leading up to the lunar eclipse. And I was just caught something earlier where, yeah, you know, I don't really I watch the news here and there, not the news, but the alternative news, you know. But
Mhm.
actually on the news channel, I saw something that was about Princess Diana. But anyway, I saw that and I thought, wow, you know,
What
I
do you
really,
want to do? You want to tell me, or
well,
you want
no,
to share it or no?
she did an interview years ago, for this journalist that wasn't very well known at the time. I can't remember his name. And
Mhm.
apparently he deceived her. He showed her full stop and pressured her into doing the interview by
Mm,
making her feel like she had to tell her side of the story.
mhm,
And that's just all come out. But this is what I'm seeing with these energies. I'm seeing a lot of stuff coming out because
mm,
documents are being released at the moment, and people are, you know, finding things out, and things are being exposed. It's just a time of exposure. With Pluto in
mhm,
Sagittarius, it always was going to be that,
mhm, mhm.
you know, and it is bit by bit by bit. But now Pluto is coming towards the last degrees of Sagittarius. You know, he's going to be moving into Capricorn in, I think it's 2023. So,
Right.
you know, in 2 years' time, is that 2 years? 21. Well,
Well, just
just under 2 years, he's going to be moving into Capricorn.
right. And with the Jupiter, you know, the Jupiter and Aquarius is just like the higher consciousness, it being expanded. Like consciousness is just being, there's so much of it. It's just expanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, but it's good because it's like, you know, things are changing, and we all have to catch up mentally and
Mhm, mhm.
spiritually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
What do you think about the Venus and Gemini? Venus and Gemini. I know you had something interesting about Venus and Gemini. Um,
I think that's more clarity and coming to decisions regarding like more, I feel, relationships. It's more about relationships. So whatever it is when it comes to relationships, I think the lunar eclipse is going to really trigger some deep reflection on past relationships.
mm,
And you know, maybe like where we were wrong, or maybe it's a conclusion where we've been in abusive relationships and we need to step out of that. I feel this lunar eclipse is showing us something, but it
mhm,
shows us that wherever, you know, all of us are at different points in our life, you know. So but I definitely feel it's like coming to conclusions regarding a relationship, like coming into clarity, because Gemini is kind of a relationship energy as well, isn't it? And it's, you know, um, and
yeah.
at 9 degrees, it's coming, bringing all that self-reflection into like a conclusion.
Mm,
So making a decision.
mm, mm. Yeah, I see. I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, and she's in trine as well to Jupiter in Aquarius. So it's knowing where you're at. It's kind of like understanding where you're at with your own desires, even because Venus rules our desires and also our creativity, our crafting, you
Mm,
know, our creative abilities. And
mm,
Gemini is very inventive. So again, it could be inventing again, like, it's these times really we need to throw ourselves into creativity, into love, into
mm,
crafting, into meditating, whatever lights your fire.
mm.
So yeah, I feel like come away from the economy because I just feel things have just been thrown out there and everyone's just like, it's stepping out of all this fear. We've been in fear for too long now. It's time to come out of it. It's time to move forward.
So Venus and Gemini, Gemini is the twins. What do you think about the twin crazy twin flame relationships?
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, I keep an open mind about this. I mean, the twin flame to me is within, it's the Kundalini, with the masculine and the feminine coming into higher
Mhm,
consciousness, coming into
mhm,
oneness. But there's nothing
mhm,
to say that once you've come into oneness, and if your soulmate has come into oneness, that you can't come together as two individuals. I do believe in soulmates. I'm not sure about twin flames. I'm not sure about that energy, but I never heard of it before. But the only thing that keeps an open mind about it is in 1992 when I had my awakening. I kept hearing like, "You've got a twin. You've got a twin." So I started because I was off my head at the time anyway with all the stuff that was happening to me at the time. Do you know what I mean? So I just started to think it must have been my brother that really we were born at twins, and there was some experiment going on or something like that. I never knew nothing about twin flames until I think 2018. I came across it on YouTube.
mm,
And then I started to connect it to the Ophiuchus energy.
mm.
And
Why?
yeah,
Why?
that's how I learned about the twin flame energy in Ophiuchus, was through watching those, learning about the twin flame energy, the
Mm,
twin flame unions. So
mm,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I keep an open mind, but definitely, I do definitely believe that we have soulmates and soul
mhm,
tribes. And I've been seeing that in astrology for the last couple of years, that energy rises very strongly at times where unions do take place. And what I am seeing at the lunar eclipse is a lot of that energy kind of occurring, but it's also a manipulative energy. So, you have to make sure that you're not idealizing a person, that it is the real thing. Do you know what I mean? Get to know each other first. Don't rush into nothing.
right, right.
So, and if it is a person from the past coming back, you've both got to be on a level, and there's got to be open communication. And Gemini is all about communication.
Mm,
So, I do feel there's going to be conversations, definitely, and it is based on relationships, and especially Juno at 7 degrees. It's got to be equal commitments. It's got to be more on a spiritual, not physical.
mm.
Like, I'm not your Gucci handbag. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right, 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 right.
I'm the real thing. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm. So about
Mm.
you with the twin flame, how do you see it?
Oh, I didn't really see it any kind of way. But if I just kind of look at it, I guess, who rules the 11th house?
The ruler of the 11th house is Sagittarius.
Oh, Sagittarius.
Mm.
Wow. So Venus and Gemini in the house of Sagittarius, and then the sun and the moon and Mercury all there in the house of Sagittarius. I just get really big Jupiter vibes, just Jupiter everywhere, with even with the gematria and the numbers and the 204 and the 24s, and there's just 24s everywhere. So it's like very, very big Jupiter energy. So I just kind of see this time as a very, very expansive um time. People asking a lot of questions and tapping into a higher level of consciousness for sure.
Yeah, I think so. And Aquarius does represent sisterhood, brotherhood.
mm,
Is a tribal. It is a tribal sign, and
mm,
Jupiter being at 4 degrees shows stability in that sign. And Jupiter is the benefactor as well. So he's the one that
yeah,
brings in gifts and as well as expansion. You know.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, at 3 degrees, he was still fighting for his spiritual values, which are based on religions and stuff like that, And like
Mm,
we were saying, religion isn't a bad thing because religion does create
mm,
community spirit, but it
mm,
also becomes dogmatic. It can become too controlling.
yeah,
But Aquarius is the freedom. She's a free spirit sort of thing. But so is Sagittarius in a way, a free spirit once he breaks out of the reins of tradition.
mhm,
Because that's when he starts to explore different cultures and is able to expand and bring all cultures into oneness. Oh, sorry. Am I back on? Let me just plug my phone in. Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I
So,
was trying to look at the camera. That's why I didn't notice that you popped off.
yeah.
Sorry.
Wow.
How long were you on? Just a second.
It's plugged it. I mean, I'm ready when you are, and it's how long we've been on, I don't even know.
Oh, I don't know, maybe an hour. I think
Okay.
maybe an hour or a little bit less than an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I don't think we've hit an hour yet though, but no, I was
Yeah.
saying I didn't know that your screen went off.
Oh, you
I
can
didn't.
still see me. Yeah,
No,
it
well,
went.
because I'm trying to just stay focused and looking at the thing at the camera. So I didn't notice that because your thing is down here, so I had to look down, but I didn't notice that it was. Hopefully it wasn't off for too long, was it? Do you know?
No, no, only for a second. I just plugged my wire in. But yeah, we was talking about all this oneness. So it is definitely about coming into an understanding that humanity is oneness.
Hmm.
It is all about oneness, and we are all feeding into the same higher consciousness, but in our own individual, unique ways.
Hmm.
And, I think there has to be a realization of karma and trying to create good karma instead of bad karma, like change that cycle. And that's not for all of us, but it is for some of the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Be-
yeah.
because things aren't balanced on our earth. There's too much poverty in areas where there shouldn't be poverty. The earth is abundant.
Right. Yes. Yes, there's so much abundance. I think about that a lot. Like, you know, if we just look at everything, we look at all the cars and all the houses and all the computers and televisions and skyscrapers and bridges, just every single last thing that we see and that we use every single day, all of it came from the earth. And that's just like a testimony to how abundant the earth is and how much abundance is around us. So we should never be in a space where, we feel like we don't have anything, or, you know, we're lacking. It's like abundance is everywhere. It's all in the air. It's just it's everywhere, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So there's no reason, there's, to me, there's also like what you're saying about the poverty and stuff like that. There's just no reason why there should be any poverty on earth at all. Everybody
Yeah.
should have enough food, place to live, place to sleep, you know. It should just be normal. That should be how things are. But
Mm,
we're not there yet.
no, we're not. And but we're coming into the realization of solutions, of what the solutions need to be.
Mhm.
You know, but it just needs more people to come into that awareness. You know, there's enough of us out there, but you know, we're scattered all over the world.
Mhm.
So it's down for communities to really come into that
Come together.
awareness. Yeah. And like our community, it may not be our immediate environment, you know. So because I feel there's going to be a lot of shifting, a lot of movement
Mm.
with people. I feel like, you know, we're all going to be shifted where we're meant to be.
For sure, for sure. Definitely.
So
Definitely.
my option would be not Mars because it's cold up there. Yeah, I'm not sure. Where's safe? Where is safe?
I mean, nowhere, you know.
That's what Taurus is telling us. Where is safe?
Safe is,
Safety is in what we already know.
mm. Where safe is, you know, you have to really security and safeness all really has to do with yourself and how you feel about yourself, and having that security and that strength within yourself where, you know, it doesn't matter what's going on or what's happening outside of you, you feel at peace, you feel secure within yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's been taken away from a lot of people, that sense of security, hasn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
this whole global situation that's been going on for the past year has really rocked the boat.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
people that were already living in fear are now living in even more fear.
mm,
And
yeah.
it's time for people to take the mask off as well, because I see the Pluto Taurian energy as the mask wearers. You know, Scorpio can be quite secretive, and you know, Taurus is the masquerader, you know.
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a lot
about
of things will be
coming,
revealed.
it's about coming into your own authenticity and not feeling that you have to hide who you are, you know, just be who you are.
It's hard, it's a hard thing to do, you know, it's a hard thing for people to do, you know, just because we want to be loved and accepted, you know, like we're naturally, we want to be likable, we want to be, you know, no one wants to be like that. And so sometimes you have to really just embrace yourself and embrace like who you are, you know. It's
Well,
like
that
one
is
of the,
being authentic, embracing who you are. I mean, we
yeah.
all have to wear masks at different times, you know. It's
Mm,
like informal situations, or you know, depending on the circumstances, we all, you know, sometimes have to adopt that poker face. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like, but it's being true to you. I think that's the best way to put it. You know, being true to yourself
Mm,
and knowing that you are enough. You know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
And that your instincts, you know, if your instincts are telling you something, you're trying to fight it, listen to what they're saying. Write it down, analyze it. Because this is a very psychic energy, and there will be revelations in that energy.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I'm just thinking about what you're saying, you know.
Yeah, I mean, with Vesta in Leo, you know, that's definitely heart chakra activations. But actually, Vesta's in opposition to Neptune and Pallas, so yeah.
Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Oh, what did you see? Said I think you had something interesting about Ceres as well. You know, it's there next to that to Uranus and all in Aries.
Yeah, I mean,
Ceres is like the mhm.
yeah, Ceres is all about well-being and self-nurture, and it's all about give and take, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're both at 14 degrees, which is adds up to 5. It's another shift in energy. But
I think it's interesting that Ceres is there in Aries, and Ceres is all about nurturing and everything like that. Well, then if you go over to Mars, which is rules Aries, it's in Cancer. So it's like definitely taking that time out to really go within and really nurture ourselves, you know.
mm, definitely, and I feel definitely food, you know, drinking enough water,
Mhm.
cleansing. Because, you know, Cancer also, I mean, in history, Cancer represents the turtle, the scarab as well, you know, the turtle and the scarab.
The
And
turtle, I never heard of that before. The turtle.
yeah, I can't remember if it's Mayan or it's like a certain culture consider the turtle to be the symbol of Cancer. I can't remember.
Hmm.
I did mention it in a podcast, I think, about a year ago. I found that out. I found it really interesting, actually.
Hmm.
And it just resonated. But the scarab as well, you know, this is, again, the scarab is representative of Ixion, Moses, Anubis.
Hmm.
Um, and
It's gonna type in scarab
the
here.
turtle is ancient wisdom. So, you know, Cancer, the sign of Cancer, it is about ancient wisdom or coming into wisdom. So with Mars there, I do feel it's like a going within to gain wisdom, you know, get solid. And maybe through analysing the past.
Hmm.
Because the moon is the ruler. The moon is the ruler of Cancer. Remember, it's a solar eclipse.
Right, 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 right,
Yeah.
right. So I put in scarab here because you were talking about scarab, you know, and how, and I think you said scarab is Moses, something like that.
Yeah, I connect sort of Anubis to Moses.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, scarab equals 17 and Moses equals 17. So there's a connection. There's a connection there, which is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the North Node will be at 17 degrees in Taurus at the solar eclipse. And the North Node is the direction we want to head in. It's our destiny, what we need to achieve before we leave the earth.
So how do you feel like Anubis and Moses and Ixion and so these are kind of like the planets, right? Or you feel like they're like angels or you know, they're guiding us, they're showing us. How would you describe?
I would say, you know, like the old saying says, as above, so below. So
Mhm.
I feel the stars were named after times, you know, of auspicious times on the earth. And Anubis was, you know, a big energy on the earth. He was the son of Ophiuchus. And
Mm.
I do definitely feel he was connected to Moses and Noah.
Mm.
And yeah, so yeah, it's just on the research I've done. I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Oh, it's okay.
But yeah, Ixion, yeah,
Happens all the time.
it's just, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's just been so much information coming in over the last few years. I'm just so mind boggled with it. I've been doing voice notes and stuff, but I really need to get it together. It's just been one distraction after another, and I've still had more stuff coming in. But
Yeah,
yeah, you know, I just feel it's all so relative right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like it's all synchronistic. All the numbers and everything is just so synchronistic. It's just like a very interesting time that we are all, you know, here to witness, you know, what's going to happen and how the world is going to change and evolve and everything, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely a little bit of positive thinking needed as well. Like, you know, hey, we can do this, you know, we can do this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I believe that. I believe that, you know, somehow, some way we will overcome.
You know, if we look at history, you know, even though it's been a struggle, we have always come through the other side, you know.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
Well, it's
it's
like you said, it's like you said when we were talking yesterday. It's like you said, I asked you the question. I was like, there's 8 billion people in the world. Like, we're just gonna spread you think 8 billion people are just gonna just become one? And then you said, it was amazing when you said it. You said that, you know, we're not really like separated in like a very physical sense, like we're like a consciousness, like we're all just one big consciousness, you know. So when you understand it from that perspective, it's like, you know, you don't have to wake up 8 billion people, you know. It's like the majority of the consciousness kind of like carries everything and floats, you know, as one type of living thing, you know, which I thought was really interesting.
mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've had quite a few discussions this week that we should have recorded, really, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But this
But
was good. I enjoy, I think we did. Maybe we should start doing that, you know, record, you know.
yeah,
And
maybe until I get my gadgets sorted out, you
well,
know.
I could, if you just, if we was just recording it, and then there was something that
I
we
need
had.
1,000 subscribers. I've only got
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just under 700, I think. So yeah, I didn't even realize that. Just saw the button
Well,
there for
I could share this video to my YouTube channel, and then they'll see. Hey guys, I'll tell everybody. Hey everybody on my YouTube channel, you guys need to subscribe to Kim so she can go live on YouTube. She needs about 300 more subscribers, something like that, like 300 more subscribers, and then she'll be able to go live on YouTube, and I'll be able to go live with her on YouTube. So if you're watching this on my channel, please go over to Kim's channel. There's going to be a link in the description box to subscribe to her channel. Let's get her to 1,000 so we can go live on YouTube.
Yay.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Huh? Say it again.
It's all swings and roundabouts. That's what we say in England, you know, like it's all just like swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, I got you. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that term, but yeah, I mean, when we started today, we were gonna go live, you know, I didn't even think that you didn't have 1,000 subscribers yet, and that we weren't gonna be able to do it. So that kind of you know, slow down the process and everything, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually, for sure.
Yeah. So I just want to say, you know, thank you to everyone that's been supporting me for all these years, and the newcomers that have come on board. I just want to send out big love to Sidereal Revolution. You know, we've got more 13 star sign astrologers on the team now. I'll probably have to join you to the group actually, so you can see the amount of people on there practicing 13 star signs. It's amazing to see the community growing, you know.
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen that group. So for sure, add me. I would love that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure they'll all be disappointed tonight that we weren't live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I'm doing, we're gonna close down now. So I'm gonna post this up to YouTube and put out an apology. I'll get it uploaded to Facebook tonight as well.
Well, I want to say that it was an absolute honor and pleasure to be here with you, Kim. I know Eric is very happy about what we did here today, of us coming together, and I'm very grateful for this moment and this opportunity here with you. And it was awesome, you know, doing this with you today. It was reminding me of, like, you know, the good old days where, you know, all three of us used to hang out and talk and everything. So I just want to say thank you for inviting me to be here with you.
Oh, bless you. It's been a pleasure having you. It's been a pleasure catching back up now, you know. The dust has settled in our lives, and yeah, it's reunited.
And it feels so good.
Yeah, I love you lots.
I love you too, Kim. I love you too.
And we love you all.
We love you guys. Thank you guys for being here out as well. I hope you guys enjoyed me and Kim's conversation. And if you guys have any questions for me about Gematria or anything, you guys can add me on Facebook at Howard Contee, or email me at howardcontee@gmail.com. I don't do like any readings or anything like that, but if you want to have a conversation or ask me about, you know, more questions about Gematria or numbers or anything, I'm in Kim's group, so you could post in Kim's group or just add me, and you know, we can talk about it.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll link one of your videos. I think I'll link the what was it? The revolution will not be televised.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll link that one in my description box here. So if anyone wants to get hold of Howard, they can go over to his channel and get all his details from there. And yeah, so sorry once again, but you know, at least we did still record and not give up like we felt like doing at the time.
Well, we're working on it, so next time for sure we'll be live.
Well, we're going to do another video soon anyway on the lunar and solar eclipses that are coming up in November, December. You know, we may even do something for the Lionsgate portal, because that might be quite interesting.
Yeah.
In August. So yeah, we'll catch up and we'll discuss it, and make arrangements.
Absolutely.
And hopefully I can get, you know, I've got equipment for this, but not for that. And I can access this, but I can't access it on that. It's just a little bit of a mind fuck, really.
Well, maybe, you know, because my channel has 1,000, so, or I mean, we really want to get your channel up to 1,000, so you can do it and go live whenever you want to, or whatever. But if we needed to, then we could just do it on my channel if you wanted to. So
Yeah, or I could do it on my computer. It just means I've got to put an external camera on and like a mic, but I need to set it up properly on here first.
yeah.
So, you know, we can do it from my computer, definitely. On Facebook if we can't do YouTube, you know. So yeah, we'll sort it out anyway. So let's catch up soon, and
All right, Kim.
we'll make arrangements for next time. But in the meantime, sending you all peace and much love. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.